Hello, everyone. Welcome to Same Team Sundays. I am your host, Avery Woodley, and today we are doing something a little different, all right? It is Easter Sunday, Resurrection Sunday, whatever you want to call it. Even if you do not celebrate it, this is just a day to celebrate hope, new life, restoration, joy, peace, love, spring, things blooming, all of that, okay? It's just a good day. So instead of doing our usual thing, I kind of wanted to sit outside in the fresh air, in the sun, the birds are chirping, tulips are blooming, and talk to you guys about what Easter really symbolizes, all right? Even if you are not a Christian and you do not celebrate it from that sense, but there are some other things that are really important that we should focus on and that we need to celebrate, okay? I know we talk a lot about, just different topics and ways to bring men and women together. We talk about respect, we talk about love, we talk about healing and personal accountability and all of that. But I want to focus on living, okay? So I wanted to talk to you guys about living and how you have the power to change the course of your life. And I'm sure you all know that, but when it comes to hope, when it comes to renewal, sorry, and I just heard something like going on back there. When it comes to new life, restoration, all of that, it lies within you. It is up to you. If you want to, resurrect yourself or make yourself new, do it. All right. Do it. And of course, there are some tips and there are some things that you can do. But that's what I want to focus on, because while we're here, we're all alive. Right? We are all alive. Not all of us are living. Some of us are, merely existing, but we all have a chance to live. We all have a chance to repair anything that is broken. We have a chance to renew ourselves spiritually, mentally, physically, financially, okay? All of that, all right? So I have my phone right here in my hammock, all right? So if you may hear some other noises, but I just wanted to get into it. All right, so you guys can enjoy the rest of your Sunday and you can have an amazing week on purpose. All right, so the first thing I wanted to focus on is hope. All right, I'm going to give you guys a brief definition, even if you know what hope is. All right, but hope is one of the most important things. Without it, you're really not living. Okay, without it, it's like you're existing. You're almost waiting. You're almost waiting to die. So with hope, we have a desire for things to change for the better and to want the better situation. Okay. So it's a desire for things to change for the better, but you also have to want it. Okay. You cannot just sit back and think that somebody's going to throw hope your way. You have to want it. You have to have a desire deep down inside of you. Okay. You know what? This situation right now may be uncomfortable. It may suck. But I know this isn't it. I know this isn't the end game, whether it's for your career, for your marriage, for your personal life, for, maybe dealings that you have with family members or friends or whatever. You have to know that this is not it, and you have to want something better. I was listening to a sermon. It was saying that hope is the anchor for our soul. You have a huge ship or a boat. When you drop your anchor, wherever you drop your anchor in that moment is where you stay, okay? You're going to be stuck right there. So when you are hoping for change and when you are hoping for something better, it's like taking your inner anchor and throwing it forward, and it's going to propel you forward. You are going to be set on that path to go forward instead of going back, all right? So with hope, you are throwing your anchor forward. Your soul is going forward. If your soul goes forward, your mind's going to go forward. Your spirit's going to go forward. Your body's going to go forward. Your emotional, how you are emotionally, all of that is going to go forward. Every part of you is going to go forward, all right? Because your soul is your innermost being. So if you are with hope, if you were throwing that forward, throwing that anchor forward, then look out. Here you come, okay? So you have to have that desire, and you also have to want it, all right? So that's one of the things I always pray for people is hope. I remember one time I had a friend and her child was extremely, extremely sick. Oh, sorry, my phone out and my notes are on here. Her child was extremely sick, And this was during the holiday season. Okay. It was Christmas and I was in Children's Hospital and I was kind of like peeking in the rooms and just, the parents and the family members and how their heads were down and you could see, like, I could physically see the heaviness in their shoulders and how they were kind of slumped over. And I thought to myself, you know what? I can't pray for, their child to be healed or their niece or nephew, whoever it is, because that's not in my control. I was like, and even though it doesn't make sense, there is a reason for everything. I was like, but what I will pray for is for their hope to be restored if it has left or if they're hanging on to it. So I walked through there. I had tears coming down my face in like every room. I was like, every room I passed, may their hope be restored. Because with that, it's like all is well. Even if, a situation didn't turn out the way that they wanted to, but with hope, I know that they would be able to go forward some way, so somehow. Okay. So remember, hope is the anchor for your soul. All right. Next, we have renewal. All right. So sorry, there's a plane going over. There's a plane going over. I got my incense going. It's bugs. I got these ears. There's a lot going on. All right. So renewal, to restore, to make like new, to become new. All right. Also, it means to repair something that is worn out, run down, or broken. All right. And you guys can also think of restoration. So to restore, to repair, to put back something, to put back something that has been broken. Now we are applying this not to you trying to repair somebody else, okay, and renew someone else, but yourself. You have to renew yourself, okay? And we do it often, okay? But we will all come to a time in our lives where it's that big aha moment or that epiphany when we're at like what you would, call, so to speak, sorry, I put my phone down, that fork in the road, all right? And it's like, either way, you have to make a decision, all right? You can stay where you're at. You can go back. You can go forward. You can, you have to decide, okay, I'm going to stay in this kind of, rundown space, whether it's something, like a space that when I say rundown, I'm speaking like metaphorically, all right? Whether it's a job that you're on, a relationship, or just a space that you're in mentally and emotionally, okay? Either you're going to stay there or you're going to realize that you are the, so to speak, you are the handy person, the carpenter, the general contractor of your life, okay? And of where you're going. So here you are, you're a rehab project. All right. We're all rehab projects. The house that I am at, the house that I bought was a rehab project. It still had value in it. So it wasn't to the point to where it needed to be torn down. And I knew that. I was like, you know what? This could be an amazing home. It's in a good area, a good district. I see its worth, but it needs some major repairs. All right. It needs to be made new. I need to make it new to my liking. All right. So it can function and it can serve as a home, as another home for my children and I. So the same thing right here. Your girl was a major rehab project. All right. And of course, in the beginning, it's like a complete overhaul. And then as time goes on, there are little things that you do, maintenance, okay, to work on, to renew yourself. Okay. So we will have those moments where it's like, okay, here I am. What am I going to do? I'm either not going to fix anything or I'm just going to stay like it. It might even be that bad. It might just be like, I'm just comfortable. I'm just going to stay right here. Or no, you know what? This could be so much better. You know what I'm saying? I want something different. I need to revive this. I need to make this new. So you do it. And like I said, I was a whole thing. And in the beginning, it was intense, whether it was, therapy with a counselor, a psychiatrist, making lists for myself, affirmations, physical exercise, making sure I had enough sleep, all these different, my diet. It was like, a ton of different things that I not only had to work on myself internally, but then it started to change my physical appearance, which I've talked about. Okay. I have, and I should have posted it. It was like a picture or a video from me teaching boot camp years back. And I think I did it on a Saturday because it was like an Easter, an Easter boot camp. So I did the day before Easter. I was like 116 pounds. Okay. And if you guys know anything about that, I'm 5'8". So I'm not short. And about right now, I weigh about between 140 and 145. I was 116 pounds as a grown woman. For me, that was unhealthy. But once I started to renew myself, okay, and make things new, well, first repair, because you can't just make something new. So with the house that I remodeled, I couldn't just paint the outside. Like I painted the outside and the gutters, and the shutters and everything like that. I couldn't just fix the outside appearance and not the inside. Okay. I couldn't put up new walls without tearing down the old ones and repairing the plumbing and the electrical and all of that. But also, I didn't want to just repair the inside and have that made new and, revived, and then still have the outside looking shabby. Okay. So what did I do? I did both. When it came to myself, what did I do? I did both. And I remember the moment where I was getting myself together mentally, spiritually, emotionally, but then physically, my body still looked like it did when I was broken. Okay. I looked older. I looked tired. I looked run down. And I was like, you know what? Now, since I've gotten, the inside going on, which is still an everyday, years later, it's still an everyday thing, as it should be with all of us. As long as we have breath in our bodies, every day is a chance, like I will constantly say, to work on ourselves. But I was like, you know what? I feel good inside. Now I want my outside to match. Not for anybody else, not to prove a point, but I want my outside to match. And that's, and it was important. So with that, remember, you have the power to renew yourself, whatever that looks like. Renew yourself mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, if you need to, as far as like your eating, exercise, and all of that. But it lies in your hands. Okay. So what you see me getting at is that when it comes to life and a new life and just going forward, you guys, it's with you. All right. So another thing, and there's a few other things you can do when it comes to renewing yourself and restoring yourself. And I have a few tips that I found, and then some of them I put together myself. And one of the main things is your mental and emotional space. Okay. Clean it up. There is no way I could have restored this house. Okay. Rehabbed and renewed this house and left some of the same stuff in there. So what did I have? Those big, huge dumpsters that were taking up most of my driveway. So as we came in to put in the new, we threw the old out. We tore it out. We put it out. Okay. So you're going to kind of have to do the same thing when it comes to your mental and emotional space. So when it comes organizing, reorganize your priorities. Okay. I know, like, even myself, I have a million tabs open. I keep looking around because I keep hearing stuff in the trees. Sorry. I have a million tabs open. So one of the things I do is like, okay, right now in this moment, let me take my, my list, my priorities and reorganize them. What is the most important? What's time sensitive? What needs to be done right now? Okay. Because when I have them all and I make them all high priority, even if they're not, I'm just like, oh my God, I have to get all this done. I can't get all this done. Okay. We all do it. And then we just end up kind of like getting stuck and looking at it like, how am I going to do all of this? And then, it's going to be when I'm going to save this one for last. When it comes to making decisions, things that you have just been putting off that are just kind of keeping you like, oh, I don't even want to deal with that right now. It's still like, those become like little clouds hanging over your head. Do it. Whatever you have to decide, whether it's to take a job, take it. If you want to take it, take it. If you don't, tell them no. To get into a relationship and commit, or to end it, decide. Whatever it is, you have to commit to it. When it comes to your health, if you're sitting up saying like, oh, I really should be working out, or I know I shouldn't be eating this, or my blood pressure is high, but you're constantly putting salt in, you have to commit. All of these things will help you just renew everything. Any type of rehab and restoration project, is a serious commitment. It's a commitment and it's an investment, and you have to be willing to do the work. All right. Another thing is your mindset. All right. Challenge yourself. Old ways of thinking. All right. Old ways of thinking that now, okay, so I'm put it this way. Not all old ways of thinking are bad, okay? But when I think of old ways of thinking, I'm talking about the ones that cripple us, the ones that, keep us stagnant, the ones that kind of hold us back and they kind of have like a negative effect. Those. You can't be like, well, that's just the way I've always done it. Well, that's the way I was raised. It's just my way or the highway. No, challenge yourself, okay? Renew your mind, all right? Renew your mindset. Your mind is a terrible thing to waste, okay? So challenge yourself to kind of break out of that mold and open up your eyes and be willing, okay? You have to be willing to adapt new ways of thinking, okay? So, what did I say? The mindset and cleaning out, and then your priorities, organizing your priorities, and committing to making decisions, serious decisions that you have been putting off. Commitment, okay? Now, the last one, it's a ton of them that you can do, but the last one that I'm going to tell you is allow yourself to let go of the past. Let go. How are you going to go forward and you're like this, okay? Let go. When it came, prime example, in order to work on this house, in order to purchase this house, in order to make it a home in every sense of the word, I had to let go. I had to let go of my other house, okay? I had to stop with that and go all in with this one, all right? So you have to let go of the past in order to renew yourself. You cannot drag it all in with you, ball and chain, all right? Cut the cord, let go. It can't be, let's just go to the relationship thing. If you have two people, okay, and we're holding hands, I'm holding your hand, and say I'm ready to go forward, I don't have to wait for you to let go. I don't have to coerce you and beg you, you need to let me go, you need to let me go. I just let go. Just open your hand and let go, okay? So you guys, whatever it is, let it go. Whatever you are holding on to that is no longer serving you. Oh, my notes went out again. Let it go, all right? Now, the last one that I want to touch on is life, okay? Life rising, all right? What that means is not just life as we know it and everything that's going on around us and everything that's been going on in the world and, the bad things, whether it's, it's been a lot. We've had Corona. We've had, all the brutality and the people that have lost their lives that should never have lost their lives, okay? So not that, but life rising. What is still left right now in this moment? What is still left? All right. We still have so much to do. We still have life to live. So this is about life rising. This is about living, not existing. This is also about not just sitting up, like I said, and worrying about everything that's going on. That does not mean that you ignore it. That does not mean that you do not empathize with it, that you do not have compassion. But it's you understanding, yes, this stuff has happened. Yes, it is going on, but I'm still here. I still have a life to live. All right. We have got to live our lives because we all know that tomorrow is not promised. And it's to the point where you start to live without fear. Okay. So you become fearless. It doesn't mean reckless, but you're living without fear. If there are things like, for example, when my mom used to travel a lot, okay? So my mom would travel with strangers. She would get in groups sometimes, and she's gone to South Africa, China, Europe, all these different places multiple times. And you have somebody like, oh my gosh, why would you do that? And she was like, why not? Like, I'm retired. I've raised my kids. Why not? I want to live. I want to see the world. But when people have that, that fear, when you're afraid, it keeps you from living. Okay. You can't live in fear. All right. So learn to live without fear. And that doesn't mean, let's, for example, if you're scared to get in the swimming pool, that all of a sudden you decide to go out of town and jump off one of those cliffs into the ocean. It doesn't necessarily mean that, but get in the water, feel the water on your skin. Okay. Or if you've always wanted to move out of the state, but you just kept talking yourself out of it, if you have the means to do it, do it. All right. Whatever it is, or if it's something as simple as a new hairstyle, whatever it is, we have to learn to live without fear. You cannot live with fear. You have to stop. You can't let others speak fear over you, because you'll have other people who are afraid and they want you to live. They want you to be afraid too. All right. So live without fear. Live with joy. You got to find her. You got to find some joy. Okay. In the midst of everything going on, you have to be able to find some joy. But if you got hope, you can find some joy. All right. So live with joy. All right. Instead of just like, oh, this, you know what? A lot of things do suck. All right. A lot of things suck, but nobody said that life was fair. All right. We know life isn't fair, but you have to make the best out of it. All right. Even if it's just waking up in the morning with a smile on your face, instead of like, oh God, I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do this. Oh, I got to go to work. You know what? Be happy you can go to work. Or it's like, oh, like I complain, like I hate stopping to get gas. But guess what? I remember a time when I had to check my bank account every time before I got gas. So right now, baby, I love pulling up to the pump and being like, boop. I don't look at the gas prices. I have a huge Suburban, fill her up. You know, I have joy doing that. Going to the grocery store, you know, having my cabinet stocked with food, my refrigerator, and then I still will order food out and not eat what I have sometimes. But I have joy even over that, you know, that I can feed my kids, that they can walk, jump, run, talk, all of that. I have joy doing this. So live with joy. And then also live with new eyes. When you start to work on all of this stuff, okay, so the hope, the renewing, the restoration, and all of that, it's like you're seeing things again for the first time, okay? So after my healing process, and when I kind of like, this is Avery 2.0, when I kind of came out of everything, out of my wilderness, and my blindfold was off, it was like, oh my gosh, it's a whole new world. Everything I look at now, I look at with a completely new set of eyes, okay? Whether it's strangers, whether it's relationships, whether it's, you know, my kids, what my idea of family, love, health, wealth, all of that has, you know, all of that has changed. It's like everything's new, because guess what? I can't change you. I can't change you. I can't change them. But who can I change? Myself. When I did all of this, the things that we're talking about right now, everything around me changed because I changed. Okay. So stop trying to change other people. Stop trying to restore other people. And when I'm talking like this, that does not mean you give up on, you know, people and situations. But when we're talking about you, when we're talking about working on you, you have to celebrate, okay? You have to celebrate the fact that you are still here and that you have the secret to change your life forever. You have, you know, the secret to break the generational curses. You have the secret to put yourself back together. You have the secret to, you know, go out and explore and do things that you always dreamt of doing. You hold that power. You can't say, oh, I can't do this because I have the kids, or I can't do this because of this person, or I can't do this because of that. You know what? Figure it out. I used to be like that. I used to be, oh, I can't. Well, I can't do this right now. No, it's just too much. No, I can't. Yes, you can. Okay. Yes, you can. And the thing is, like, we're constantly being bombarded with, like, in the news now, the trial. Why is there a trial for George Floyd? I have no idea. It's an open and shut case. You know what I'm saying? It's done. We already know what happened. Okay. There's no need for a trial. And then still with just the fear of, like, you know, the vaccine, should I get it? Should I not get it? And then just regular life. Okay. just the regular life that we all have, it's a lot, it's a lot on us, but it's a lot that we can't control. All right. We can't control, but life is meant to be lived. We can get sucked into all of this stuff and it takes up our time. And that's something that we cannot get back. I was listening to this, and why do I keep letting my phone go off? I was listening to this TED Talks, and it was basically saying the guy had a brush with death. Okay. When he was in college, he was actually struck by lightning or electrocuted or something. All right. And he was saying that obviously it impacted the way that he was going to spend the rest of his life. He was like, I learned how to live because of my brush with death. And so I listened to this whole talk, and at the very end, it might have been like the last 5 seconds. This is what he said. And this is what I'm going to close with for today. He said, do not let life take you. Let death take you. Okay? Life is not meant to take us. Life is meant to be lived. Death is supposed to take us. So while we're here, don't let the things that are going on, in politics take you. Don't let the things that are going on with Corona take you. Don't let the things that are going on with your job and your family or yourself, do not let all of those things take you to where you're just a shell, okay? Life is meant to be lived. Let death take you. So remember, today we are celebrating, and all the days for it, hope, renewal, life, okay? And remember, you have got to have some joy, all right? It all lies within you. It is in your control. And that is it. I just want to end with that. Our normal Same Team Sundays will resume next week. We also have a guest on coming up either next week or the following week, okay? So we'll be having more of those one-on-one interviews coming and all of that. But yes, I'm going to stay out here. I am kid-free. The sun is still shining. So have an amazing day. Have an amazing week on purpose. I will probably be on YouTube a little bit this week, and we will talk soon. Bye.